Hey guys, um, this is going to be a weird video in a way because I wanted to make a kind of like end of the channel video for a bit, um, and I'm just not in a headspace of like let's make videos or let's make kind of official proper feeling stuff. So I just eventually figured, screw it. Let's just get the video out there, and then I can kind of tie off everything. So, a you've probably noticed there haven't been many any videos, since Held to Pay. This is because not that long after Held to Pay came out, I took the decision to essentially end the Wandering Inn. I will get into it a little bit. I'll talk about all the bits and pieces. I'll try and make this a fairly short video. Um, but essentially, uh, I've been toying with the idea for a while, like trying to figure out how viable it is and so on and so forth. And essentially, I hit a point where I just had to face facts, and I actually wanted to like shut things down. Um, so essentially, I'm going to archive the channel. What that basically means is I'll get rid of all the gaming stuff. So I'll take out all of the gaming content. Essentially, it'll all be unlisted. So if you have links to it, then you can still visit those videos. Um, and if you want any of those videos, you can always come to my Discord and say like, "Hey Sheepy, do you have the XYZ video? I'd love to watch it." So if any of the gaming stuff is an issue, which I don't imagine it will be at this point, like the video's been there for years, and I don't know, but just in case. And then it'll just basically be a channel that will sit there gathering dust, and if anyone wants to go and watch the old shows, you get a desire to see Drifting again or Duakama Outlook, they'll all be there. So you'll have them there for you. Um, and aside from that, like I probably still make things occasionally. I have an entirely new direction I kind of want to go in. Nothing to do with content really. Not like influencer creator content type stuff. I've been kind of done for that ever since I started the Wandering Inn. So stopping the Wandering Inn is just like, okay, well that's completely done now. I loved making stories and I loved making TTRPG shows, but all the rest of the content was just something I had very little interest in, even when I was still doing it towards the end. Uh, so yeah, so the shows will still be up there. I'll probably throw stuff. Currently, it's called Wandering in Extra. I've got another channel that I think I'm going to just jump over to and occasionally throw videos out there. Most important one to mention here is I'll be putting the like actual explanation of why I stopped the Wandering Inn over there. Like, more details and more just like me kind of talking over things. Essentially for this channel, all that's really needed to be known is I had two big uh tech problems with my computer, which meant I had to send it back twice, and there was like a couple of months where just nothing was being made and nothing was coming out. During that time, we started to bleed viewership and we started to bleed patrons. Um, Ultimately speaking, like the goal of the channel was always to prove that you could have good practices in terms of like looking after your cast and paying your cast and everything, and also make good content, make good shows. And I think we kind of proved that to a degree. Like, obviously, ultimately speaking, if I wanted, I could do the thing where you put out like 5 shows a week, don't pay your cast, um, and don't do any cast care. Where essentially, like, if you don't know TTRPG like shows and channels, a large number of them have like kind of these structured like uh, uh they have like these structured kind of list of rules, like, you know, X cards and red lines and lines and veils and all this kind of thing, to avoid anyone getting upset or bringing up any topics or anything like that that they may not enjoy or may not like. um and I've found personally that on in these places, on those places, it basically substitutes a more personal touch, where essentially, you know, what I feel you should do is you should just communicate with people. People should be able to tell you if they're upset, and you should be able to go, and you should be going to ask people at the end of shows and checking in with them, and all that type of thing. Obviously, this isn't me saying that it's bad on the other channels. It's just my personal opinion of like how things should be run and how these things should go. Um, and yeah, no, essentially, like, I'm very happy with all the shows we made. I'm very happy with how we made them. Um, I'm sure there are some people who are unhappy, or, you know, etc. in the cast and everything. Like, you can't please everyone, but I think I did a reasonably decent job of being a showrunner and a GM by myself. Uh, to my knowledge, I always checked in on everyone right after something happened, or like a month after the show ended, etc., etc. I got good feedback from quite a few people, and, you know, I feel like I was able to, with the lower amount of shows, I feel like I was able to kind of, you know, help people push themselves to challenge themselves with roleplay, which is a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed that. Um, Past that, as I said, like, yeah, essentially, when I this is a video that should have gone out a while ago. I let everyone know in the Discord channels, the cast Discord, and my own personal Discord. I put it out on Twitter, etc., etc. I put it out wherever people would be following me and stuff. So, aside from this YouTube channel, the message has gone out. I needed some time to just chill and to essentially just not worry about any of that shit, because it was all getting a bit too stressful, all a bit too much. Um, and then now that I've, like, last couple of weeks, I've been trying to make a video on this, just to let everyone know that it's over and it's done. And I just don't have that, like, I don't have that content, the video kind of thought process, or whatever it is. Like, I've completely disconnected from it. I don't really give a fuck. Um, so I was like, you know, I should I really make a video if I'm in this kind of like brain space and everything? I was like, fuck it. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get back into that place where I'm like wanting things to feel proper and official and, you know, professional. So I'll do the best I can with this, like, maintain it. But as I said, I don't really give a fuck. So this is what you get. I'm afraid. Um, so yeah, no, it's essentially with the channel, my goal was to have it be self-sustaining. Like, technically speaking, I could do like 2 or 3 shows a week fairly easily, paying the cost and everything, and it wouldn't affect me too much in terms of like funding it myself. I just didn't want to do that. Like, it seems kind of pointless to do that, and it was a lot more interesting and a lot more fun to try and work within budget, and, you know, because otherwise I could get like ridiculous art and all those kind of things as well. And I did get ridiculous art. Askren, amazing artist, but, you know, um, he doesn't charge as much as he should for a start. And, you know, like, yeah, paying the cost and everything. So, first up, if you are still a patron, I think I destroyed the patron. So the patron's not there, so you shouldn't be paying any money for it, just as a heads up. Um, uh, it's possible I'll start a patron for whatever little hobby type thing I end up doing. over on I'm gonna call it. I think I'm probably just gonna call it like Sheepy Dumps or something, which is just basically a place where I occasionally make a video because I feel like it, or I do a live stream. I'm not streaming on Twitch. I just don't like Twitch. All of the things that they do, all of the things that they are, is just not a nice place. Even though the chat features are better and it just is a bit more comfortable to watch live streams and stuff, I just don't like it. Um, so yeah, like I'll be sorry, I need to get back on track of where I was. I'm not editing this. Like fuck it, I don't care. um, so yeah, no. It's essentially like I I very much enjoyed making the shows. I will be making videos. Maybe some like if I come up with a fun gaming idea or fun idea in general, I'll probably try and make it just as kind of like a hobby or like just sometimes it seems like a fun thing to do. I may do stuff with people in the Discord and everything. Like I've got a few ideas for kind of games or little fun fuck arounds or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe nothing will come of it because I'll be too busy. But yeah, essentially, aside from that, I would say feel free to come to the Discord still if you want. It's a pretty chill place. I can't really promise any entertainment or anything interesting, but you know, if you want, yeah, it's there. Um, Everyone's welcome, and you can pretty much talk about whatever you want. The only rules we really have in the Discord is don't attack each other. Nah, that's pretty much it. If you want to have an argument with someone, you can. If you want to disagree with someone, you can. As long as you don't take it personal, it's all perfectly fine. And for me, I will. I've got like. Okay, so this will be the little cut, not little cut. I'm not editing, but this will be the little bit here where I basically go like, okay, so that's the end of the channel talk completely, and then a little bit about me, and then I'll just close out the video. So end of the channel talk is essentially enjoy the channel. You know, like if you're here and you've never seen any of my shows before, I would suggest if you don't know TTRPGs very well, I'd suggest checking out Duakrama as it's quite heavy, but it's the most accessible because it's got like some visual stuff as well that's quite cool. If you are just looking around and you like TTRPGs, I would say if you want something long, go for Sunkissed, go for Drifting. If you want something a bit shorter, go for Moonkissed, go for Glitch. And then a few honorable mentions like QT. I'm very personally very happy with Fallen, which is a 40k thing. Dark Angels. Aside from that, like I don't know, there are no shows that I'd say steer clear of. Overgrown didn't come out really how I wanted. Um, but aside from that, you know, I'm still happy with it. Um, and yeah, that's the channel stuff. Channel shutting down. Not going to be doing more. I doubt I'll be on any TTRPGs in the future or GMing for shows or anything. I just don't really feel like that's going to happen. Um, but you never know. If I am, I'll put it out in the Discord. Yeah, I'll let you know in the Discord. So that's there if you're interested. And the shows are always there. Like you know, if the most unlikely thing happens, and then suddenly I have like a whole influx of new viewers, you know, one of the shows blow up, and there's call for another show. I could maybe do something casual, possibly. I don't know. Like I'd be open to the idea, but as long as it didn't take up too much of my time. But you know, I feel like part of the reason why I remember what I was talking about earlier. As I said, not going to be a good video. Part of the reason why I finished part of the reason why I finished the channel is because there was no point in going casual hobby. I feel like the whole reason why the channel had the people watching it did is because the shows were like high effort and a lot of thought were put into the story and the characters, and the cast put a lot of thought into their things. So you know. Yeah, what I was going to say earlier is I was talking about. Oh, fuck me, has it gone again? I was talking about something. Yeah, I can't remember. It's gone again. I should just filled up the thing. Anyway, that's the show stuff. Essentially. So yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember what I was talking about. So there we go. So the reason I decided to shut down the channel, basic details, is two breaks of um two breaks of like a month where I like bled patrons and bled viewers, and when I came back, it was all diminished. And I was happy to keep pushing and keep going, just in general, because I really enjoyed it. But it was getting more difficult, and my motivation was going down. I still loved making the shows, and I could keep making the shows, but I knew that to keep doing the channel seriously, I'd need to keep pushing, and my plan was to was to push out into essentially podcast stuff, but like put it out on the podcast, find new audiences, bring more people in, and then gain funding and open up into two shows a week. We were going to start a second show, which was Peachy's idea, Peachy Pixel 8's idea. Really great idea, which was to do recordings of like 3-4 hours, and then separate them into 1 hour sections of a show, and do that show like once a week, week by week by week, and I'd only have to pay the cast the regular session cost, but I would be able to put out uh, another show. It would only be an hour long, but it might be more consumable as an hour long as well. So it was a really good idea. Unfortunately, that will never come to pass, but yeah, it was really good. Um, and essentially, as I was setting up to do all of those things, I was doing the Dragon Riders season 3 show, and I was doing the Star Wars show, and this Dragon Riders season 3 show had been a fucking nightmare. We had we started recording almost like a year and a half ago for Dragon Riders season 3, and on the first episode, two of the cast members didn't show up, and I had to essentially kick both of them off the show and get two new people in. After that, even still, I think we managed in like half a year or so. I think we managed to get about 5 episodes recorded, and a couple of them I wasn't super happy with. So it got to the point where I realized that some of the cast just wasn't having fun, just purely because it was taking so like, and for me, I was getting yanked in and out of the story, and there were recording sessions where I felt like I was the issue because I just wasn't in the story. I wasn't immersed in telling the story because I hadn't done the story for like a month or so, and then it's straight back in, and then it's another month break. Um, so I just said to everyone, we'll put it on like essentially permanent hiatus, and we'll revisit the idea later. For now, we'll just exit. And a couple of the cast members who had the spare time, the time was a lot of a problem in that one. But a couple of the cast members who had the spare time, we were talking about like maybe revisiting the QT as a season 2. I just went, Um, as things eventually went, it didn't happen either, obviously, but like that would have been cool. And then the Star Wars show, there was I'll get into it properly in the other video on the other channel. It's not like a super load of drama, but it was essentially the thing that made me sit down and seriously consider what I wanted to do with the channel. Essentially, there was a bit of a blowout. There was a bit of an issue, let's call it, and I had to kick someone off the cast. Essentially, their behavior was unacceptable, and their actions afterwards were worrying, let's say. Um, and because of that, I now had no shows for the foreseeable future. I'd have to find a replacement cast member for Star Wars. I'd have to do the intro, and we'd have to redo the one episode that we'd recorded before that. So I decided then to just I took a couple of days. I went back to my folks. I sat down with my parents and just, essentially told them where things were and what I was thinking. And after like a few days, I realized like the amount of work I'll have to do just to get back to where I was before all of these issues started to happen, like 6 months ago, when my computer started breaking and there were gaps, and everything started to like slowly drip down a little bit. Um, I didn't think I had the motivation or the interest anymore. Like I still loved doing it, but it was too stressful, it was too much, and I was just like, no, I don't want to. At the end of the day, like it wasn't the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. It's a good phrase. So essentially, yeah, like I shut everything down and I've disconnected. Like I'm on my Discord, but I'm out of all pretty much every single other Discord there is. I just took a step back and I've disconnected from a little bit from the internet and a lot from the TTRPG space. I feel a lot better. Um, I haven't been sleeping well. This is why I look like a mess. But I feel a lot better. I feel a lot less stressed. I feel a lot more happy. And I'm just kind of looking forward to the stuff that I'm doing now, and this is the actual end of the channel show TTRPG Wandering Into Chat, and this is like a little addendum for me. Essentially, what I'm doing currently and what I'll be doing for a while is writing. Uh, I've proven to myself I'm a pretty good writer. I understand stories and characters and that kind of thing like, quite well, I feel. I want to. I've got like 12 short stories on deck. On deck basically meaning that I've laid out the bare bones details of it, ready to be written. I've got like two or three novels that are feeling very promising. Kind of like I'd say there's one that is like drifting promising, and then a couple of others which are like kind of sun kissed promising. And one of the things I really want to do, and this is one of the novels, I really want to write either a book or a series of books on Overgrown because I really feel like I did a lot of world building there that's really interesting, and I kind of want to tell a story just by myself in that setting, you know. Just be able to do whatever I want with it and take it wherever I want to take it, and like really flesh that setting out. So, um, if you're interested in any of that, it'll be in the Discord, and I may do. I'm not sure about. I'm not really worried about publishing and like where it's gonna go or anything. So, best place to stay up to date is the Discord or the extra YouTube channel. If you want. I may put stuff out on there about it, like updates and stuff. I'm definitely going to be doing a few videos just for me, basically. But if anyone else wants to watch them, they can. Just kind of talking about like my thoughts on GMing and storytelling and just any other thoughts I really have. The video I'm going to do talking about me and about what happened for the Wandering In, like the more intricate details, it's just going to be talking about my experiences in the TTRPG sphere and community, and just kind of like going through that. It's not going to be super interesting, but it's interesting to me. So yeah, I'm going to be writing, and if I have an opportunity, like I have a few more possibilities, ideas, like maybe writing a few module scenarios and stuff for TTRPGs, and I don't really want to dive back into the TTRPG like community and sphere and all that, like shows and all that kind of stuff, like Twitch and everything. I really think that may be it for me, probably. Um, but I have some thoughts of doing some kind of, private games, maybe private games, or maybe if they're interesting, I can throw them out as like an unedited, like literally just like a throwaway thing on the extra channel with the like Discord members and stuff. Maybe have a small Patreon for games or something. I don't know. Like I'll figure that shit out, and I'll let you know on the Discord if you're there. Um, past that, yeah, writing, so much writing, and occasional live streams. Just every now and then, I get a desire to make a little content, but not in a way where I like am stressed about growing or gaining viewers or anything. Just for myself, it's kind of fun sometimes. So I don't really expect anyone to watch them, but I'll probably live stream occasionally on the YouTube. I'll probably throw a video out here and then if I have a fun idea that I just can't get out of my brain. Past that, yeah, this is the end of the line for the Wandering Inn, definitely, and pretty much for me doing anything kind of like properly content creator related, unless something very bizarre happens and I just get dragged back in, which I don't see it happening. So, um, ultimately, like all of the cast sent me nearly all of the cast sent me messages or left a kind of reaction on the announcement in the cast Discord. You know, a lot of nice messages saying thank you so much and etc. etc. Uh, and yeah, it's all in all like a pretty smooth disconnect you know, went from like going to produce two shows to essentially nope, shut down, done. It was pretty chill and it was fairly easy. Um, and yeah, it will probably it's probably a bit late to say this. I just popped into my head. Like I appreciate anyone who uh what's the best way to say this? Like I appreciate anyone who has enjoyed the shows and has enjoyed the channel and my GMing, and the other, you know, few other GMs who've been on the channel. Um, I would say if possible, don't try not to leave any kind of like there's the message there's a message that's like oh that sucks, you know, well but happy for you and appreciate the things you've done, kind of message. And then there's the message that's like why are you shutting it down, you know, I really wanted more and etc etc. Like just have a quick think before you throw down a message like that, because as you can probably tell, I'm past it. And it, you know, like, so it would it would feel a bit insincere and self-serving to be like, no, please don't do more. Like you were so, I really enjoyed your shows or whatever. I don't know. That's just me trying to curtail something I don't particularly want to see. But fuck it. Do what you want. Like at the end of the day, if you want to, feel free to say whatever you like. Feel free to say like, fuck you, you asshole. Your show sucked, and I was only here to hate watch and etc. That's cool too. Yeah, if I don't see you on the Discord or anywhere else, I appreciate you watching the shows, if you did. And if you didn't, what the fuck are you doing here? Anyway, see you later.